I believe that many of us has that one person that we're actually close to, that one person that despite of being in a large crowd, we're able to distinguish them maybe through their voice, or perhaps we're able to note them despite of the many people that are in that vicinity. And perhaps the way you're so close to that person, you know how the person acts, you know how the person might react, or you know what the decision that person might make. And so it can be your parent, it can be your close friend, it can be your sibling or probably your partner. And so my question for you today is, as much as you know that person that is close to you, do you know God in that level? And so in this episode, we'll be looking at the topic when you believe in God but don't know Him. Please stay tuned as we unravel this topic, and I want you to be as honest as possible, because the only way for you to change is for you to be honest with yourself.
My time is now.
So in the first category, we've got people who know God by reputation. Let me give you an example. Let's say your close friend tells you about another friend that you probably don't really talk to, or that you don't really communicate with, And so that does not mean that you actually know that specific person just because your close friend told you about that person. Perhaps your close friend did not even tell you the full picture or the full detail about that specific friend that she was telling you about. And so we've got people who know God by reputation. You go to church and you've read about Bible stories, you know God through certain Bible stories, David, Moses, Joseph, and all that. And you actually have favorite Bible verses, but do you actually know God on a personal level? Like how you know your close friend? Or is it just a person who you know because someone else shared about him? For example, your pastor at church. That's the first category. And ask yourself, do you fall in that category? And then the second category, well, these are the people that know God, but it is just a memory. For example, in the past years or something like that, you have known God, you have gotten to know God, you have experienced His grace, you've experienced peace, you've experienced His love, but somewhere along the line, you fell off. And so it's like having that friend that you used to be close to maybe 10 years ago, and now you don't really communicate because of certain situations. And of course, that does not mean that you actually know the person because you've got memories of him. Yes, you do know a part of it, but you don't know, the depth knowledge of that friend, or that friend that you used to be friends with, or something like that. And so do you fall in this category? And then we've got the third category. These are the people that actually know God intimately. These are the people who are seeking God. They're seeking God. They make sure that they communicate with Him on a daily basis. Those who love God, those who put their trust in Him, and those who thirst for His righteousness. Those are the people that are really know God intimately. And so we've got people like David. Let's look at people like David, right? He says, "You alone are my God." And he doesn't say this out of a second-hand situation or because someone else mentioned it, but he knows it through his own experience. Are you capable, or are you able to say that He is my God? God is my God because of the experiences that you have, or because of the encounters that you had with Him, and not because of what the pastor said, or not because of what your mentor said, or anyone else really. And so I have another question for you. Who is God to you? Who is God to you? Is He your provider? Is He your strength? Is He your peacemaker? Who is He to you? One thing I've come to realize is that the way you call a person determines how related you are with that person. For example, if someone comes to me and then calls me Charmaine, I definitely know, or people who know me will definitely know that we actually don't have a close relationship, because calling me Charmaine, that just shows that we do not know, or you don't know me that well. But for someone who knows me, they'll call me by my proper name, which is Charmaine. you know. And so the naming might actually change depending on how close I am with the person. Some people call me Shasha, some people call me Shamaine Faith. It just depends, but it's different. It's different depending on the relations that we have with people. So who is God to you? Who do you call God? Is he your provider? Is he your comforter? Who is he to you? And how will you know who he is to you if you do not have a close relationship with him, if you do not yearn to um, seek him wholeheartedly? Matthew 7 verse 7, ask and it shall be given to you, seek and you shall find, knock and the door shall be opened unto you. And so that being said, I want you to be honest with yourself and ask yourself, where do I stand with God? Where do I stand? And the more you seek in getting to know more about him, is the more you realize that he has been there all along. He's been right there waiting for you, to call upon him and he will answer you. He's always been there. God is omnipresent. I do understand that maybe for those in category number 2, those who just have memories of him, perhaps you got stuck in work, you got stuck in parenthood, you got stuck in school, work and all that. But we can still find God in each and everything that we do. We can still get to know God in each and everything that we do. Whether you are a parent, just by doing the chores that you do or taking care of the child, you can get to know who God is. You can get to know who he is through those small acts that you do, through those small duties that you have. So there is really no excuse, because God is omnipresent, he's omniscient, he's everywhere. So it's a matter of being what's this word, intentional, and actually seeking him because you want to get to know him. Yes, it's important to believe in him, but it is also important to get to know who we are believing in. And as you get to know him, you will change. Remember, there is a verse that says, by beholding you become changed. The more you spend time with God, the more you will get to know of who he is, and it will change you. There's no ways you'll have an encounter with God and not change. Ask Paul. Ask people. Let me not even go too far. Let me not even go too far to Paul. Ask the people. Ask Charmaine as well. Let's not go too far. So as you get to know him, you then realize that, you know what? You don't need to worry. You don't need to worry. You don't need to be tormented by stress and all those things, because you know who God is. If you know that he's the provider, you won't be stressing about how you're going to receive certain things. If you know that he's your comforter, you know that he will comfort you in difficult times. And so I just want to challenge you today to challenge yourself to get to know God, get to know this God that you're believing in. And one of the ways to do that is to study your word. Study your word. Thy word is a lamp unto my feet and a light unto my path. John 1 verse 1, in the beginning was the word, and the word was with God, and the word was God. You get to know him like that. And pray as well. Communication. Yeah, I hope that this helped you in a way, and let us challenge ourselves and see you again next week. Bye.